life has to move on. Life has to carry on. And we have to conquer our fears. And I know if I look at blessings here, you can't even imagine. I mean, he has conquered his fears. And there are so many people that I've met here that have conquered their fears. And there could be somebody, even somebody that might be watching this a little later. My encouragement is conquer your fears. Don't ever write yourself off. Never get to a place where you say, I can't do this anymore. In fact, use that as a platform and say, I can be able to aspire. I love the word aspire. I can be able to aspire. I can be able to do this. And you know, with aspiration, when you're aspiring for something, even if you do not actually get right there at the top, but your aspiration leads you towards your goal. I'm delighted to hear the story of Ellie, and that she's aspiring to be a Paralympian and to go and represent Zambia. That is a great story. And everybody else, continue aspiring. You can be able to do it. I'll tell you one of my fears that I had. One of the fears I had was a fear of heights. And every time I'll be like in a top building and I tried to go, I couldn't even see, I couldn't even face. I'd feel like I'm already falling. And I said, I am going to conquer this fear. And how do I conquer this fear? I want to go to the highest point that I can. And I was thinking, okay, which is the tallest mountain? Okay, fine. Maybe it was too complicated to go to the Mount Everest. And I said, no, I need to find a place where I can go. And a thought dropped in my mind. I said, good, we are going to go for skydiving. I went, I registered, and you see, there's a bit of a time between the time you registered for the skydiving and the day when you go. So I went and I paid. And now between payment and the day, I had to conquer that fear. Because now I was saying, I'm jumping off a plane from 14,000 feet. How does it look like? And one of the ways that helped me to conquer that fear, I had to read a lot about it. I had to watch videos. I had to hear from stories from people who have done skydiving. And by the end of the day came. The night before going for skydiving was probably the most difficult one. I'm thinking, God, okay, do I have a will? What happens if I die? What about my children? What will people say? Do I have, and I started processing all of that. And in the morning, when you're about to go for skydiving, you are actually seated there. They dress you up and everything else, like sheep being led to the slaughter. You are so quiet, and you are praying and everything else and so on. You go on the plane. When the light goes green, it is now time, and you are looking down. Everything is looking tiny. But you have to come out of that door. Because if you don't come out of that door, you're not going to have the experience. And you have to take that step of coming out of that door. From my experience, the moment I stepped out of that door, the whole world changed. I felt the freedom, where there's nothing else. You're just there floating in the sky, nothing else. And within a short time, you have the most, experience that you can't even be able to explain. This is an experience that you cannot even be able to tell anybody. I can try even now, but I cannot be able to tell it. And by the time you land on the ground, you're like, I want to do that again. And that's my encouragement to you. Step out. Whatever it is that you'd want to do, whatever dream that you have, go out there and step out. The fears will always be there, but the moment you break through, all the fears are gone. And Marissa, I want to say thank you so much for the great work that you're doing. I have been following Aspire Clinic. I've been following all the great work, even how you make some of those prosthetics. When I look at that, it's just amazing. We're not only bringing mobility, we are actually bringing aspiration to people that may have lost hope, to people that may have given up, to people that may have said it's done. And that is something that we do as Standard Chartered, and that is why we are here. We've got what we call lifting participation, encouraging people who have been left out of the driving the economy, to bring them into the economic sector and to say we can be able to contribute. So for everybody that is out there, this is my encouragement. Please never ever give up. As Standard Chartered Bank, we have decided to contribute to the great work that is happening here. It's a very small token of 83,500 kwacha, but for us it's much more than the token that we are contributing. For us, it is actually sending the message out there to say we can be able to change lives. If we all come together and participate, we can be able to bring back hope. And this is something that I tried to encourage everyone on the point of hope, not allowing anybody to judge you. Marissa, may you allow me just to give one quick example? Please, just one quick example. And this might be speaking to a number of people here. My boss at one time was called Ralph Watungwa from Zimbabwe. He had one leg and he was going about, very successful gentleman. At one time, he was the CEO for Standard Chartered Bank in Zimbabwe, and very, very intelligent. And he had overcome all the stigma, all the fear, and he was very jovial. He would be dancing, he would be talking. At one time, he traveled to the US with his family. And as he was in the US, they were waiting for the bus. He was standing by the post, for the shelter for the station. A gentleman was coming from this other end, and when he saw him, his family was there, and he was just like standing like this, just they're waiting for the bus. A gentleman comes to see him and assumes, let me not say what he assumed, but let me tell you what happened. So he comes and sees him and says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." He goes into the wallet. He gets a $1 and gives it to him. Now he's standing there and says, "I am CEO. I can feed you. I can feed your family. I can feed even..." But just because he has got one leg, somebody assumed that he's a beggar and gets $1 and gives it to him. Now, Ralph is standing there. He looks at his family. The children are watching what is happening here. All these children are watching. And he says, "What do I do?" And he tells me to say, "Sonny, in that very moment, I said, humility, Ralph, humility, humility, humility. This gentleman that is standing here has no clue who I am. He's probably doing it out of a good heart and good. He may have judged me, but that is his own judgment. And maybe that is how the world has communicated." You know what? He got the $1 and said, "Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. You are a good man." And the man went and he put the dollar in the pocket. There will be moments like those that people will come in and they may have different views. Overcome all of that. It's not only overcoming the fear of falling, it is also overcoming the fear of wrong judgments, of misinformation, of stigma. We have to, and we can't blame them. That is the news that is out there. But for you, go and prove it otherwise. Let's go out there and do excellent exploits. And indeed, when we do that, you actually turn the story around. When people see that, they're saying, "You know what? We can actually be able to do that. If he can do it, if she can do it, I can be able to do it." So together, let's be able to go out there, drive hope, aspire for great heights, and achieve greatness. Thank you so much. Truly appreciated, truly humbled to be here.